And this week we have Miss Rayner, who is going to be talking to us about getting things done, getting through, checking in, just helping us all go through this for the last couple of weeks. And so we really appreciate you making the time to help us out with this, Miss Rayner, and Miss Winfield. Without further ado, I turn it over to you.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. So I know it's mostly educators on here, and today's topic is just getting things done when we are at home. And before I get into like the new content, I'm gonna kind of review what I talked about the last time that I hosted Tea and Talk, and just basically talking about coping while you're at home, because I know a lot of us at home, not only are we working from home, our jobs, but we're also being a mother, we're also being a wife, or we're also just trying to just stay afloat with everything that's going on, because as we know, this is all new to all of us. So we're just, trying to cope with it. So I just want to kind of review, it's kind of parent-based, but you are a parent, so it will work for you too. The first thing I said is to kind of make a schedule. Not too strict, but also structured. At the same time, this is not school. They are at home, but you still want to have some type of schedule so they can get into their mind like, hey, I'm still going to be learning even though that I'm at my home. So you want to kind of have some type of schedule, whether it's, when you wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, we have breakfast, and then we're going to read a story, or we're going to work on math for 30 minutes. Then we're going to go outside, like just some type of schedule, even if it changes daily what you do, it will still kind of look to them like, okay, I'm still in a learning mindset. Next is to set a daily goal. You can just set a goal saying today we're going to read 2 chapters in our book, or we're going to do this many word problems, or we have a good day, we're going to do a virtual field trip. I know that's very popular these days. And also just getting creative. While you're at home, you have a way to turn this negative into a positive. You can teach them in ways that you can't do in the classroom. Just with everyday things like cooking together, doing recipes. You can include reading, you can include math, doing some technology things, because of course everything is technology right now. So doing those virtual field trips is like getting creative. I know I sent out on Class Dojo, I sent out some movies that target social emotional, like Toy Story talked about friendship, Beauty and the Beast talks about your differences, and Inside Out talks about knowing your emotions. So like you can just incorporate learning in a fun way, because you're at the advantage of being your own home. And you want to make it easy. Like, don't beat yourself up. Don't go looking on NCDPI trying to learn the standards. Just do it what's best for your child. Okay, and so like the new thing that I want to talk about today is creating a learning space. And you want to distinguish learning time from home time. So I was reading this article that Ms. Chambers actually sent me, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I actually did it in my house, but I kind of created a learning space. So get a table, decorate it, make it this space. Like when you're sitting at this table, we're learning, not just playtime. So when they know that, okay, over here's the playroom, but this is learning time. Know your child's learning personality. Some kids cannot just sit and listen to you. They need to get in there. They need to start writing. They need to be active. Learn what their favorite subject is. So if they love science, incorporate reading and math into science. If they love social studies and learning about history, incorporate other things. So because if they hate math, and you're just doing this, they're not going to receive it. So trying to make it fun. Know your child. Also know their learning style. Do they like paper and pencil? Do they like flashcards? Do they like cutting and pasting? Do they like looking at Zooms? Because some of these kids probably don't. This is new. They don't like being on Zoom meetings. So learn what it is that works for your child. And there's so much research that you can look up and see what is their learning style and kind of assess your child to see what works best for them. And also, when in doubt, like reach out to your child's teacher. I know that just like you guys miss your students. So your kids' teachers miss them too. So reach out to them. Say, hey, can you do a one-on-one FaceTime? I need a break. Can you help me? What works best for my child when they're with you? Just don't forget about them, because they are just as hungry to teach your kids, as hungry as you are to teach them too. So yeah, that's pretty much all of my little talking points I had today. And then I had like a question and answer or a comment, because I mean, you guys are the experts here when it comes to teaching children one-on-one, being that I'm the school counselor and you guys teach. So if you guys have anything additional that you guys want to add, like please jump in, because I know she's recording this, so people are gonna go in and watch this later. So please add in your 2 cents, because I'm not an expert. I just kind of thought about some things after reading the article. So questions or comments?
I think you hit the nail on the head.
Thanks, Chris.
I was just gonna add, like, I was gonna piggyback off of what you said about like the one-on-one if a parent needs a break. Like me personally, I'm all about that because I know it's a lot. So, and I mean, we're trying to fill our time just like parents are trying to, fill their time. Right. So it's definitely like, for me, I wouldn't mind doing a one-on-one if a parent asked.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Job, you look like you need to say something. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Could you give us some questions? Say we let our child watch one of the videos. Could you give us some questions, maybe in the chat, as to what we could ask them to get to know what they're thinking right now, what they're feeling?
Are you talking about questions in response to what?
The videos. I like the videos, but then, like, what could the parents say?
Oh, like you talking about the movie suggestions I had?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. I have it somewhere. I actually made some questions up.
Okay.
And yeah, so I know, like, for Toy Story, you can kind of ask, like, Toy Story is all about friendship and the toys. I love Toy Story. I've watched one before, but you can kind of ask them, like, what is the problem? You can even incorporate those, correct me if I'm wrong, teachers, because I don't teach reading, but like what is the main idea? You can incorporate that type of thing. And then you can also get into the social emotional, like, how do you think Woody felt when Buzz Lightyear came and Andy played with him? Like, you can talk about those type of things. So you can incorporate different subjects depending on the movie, and that way you can hit all of those subjects. It just kind of depends on the movie. I know Inside Out is a really good movie based on like getting your emotions out, and that may be a good movie to watch now with everything that's going on. These kids don't really know what's going on. Like, coronavirus is new to all of us. So talking about how you feel about it. Does it make you angry? Does it make you sad? How do you feel about not being able to see your friends and your teachers? So I can definitely type that up again and put it in Class Dojo, or put it on the website. I have it made already, but I can relink it. So I will link that again with the movies. That could be something fun to do on a Friday or Saturday night.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I think setting up a separate workspace is a good idea, even for those of us working at home. Mm-hmm. I know for me, because I set up in my living room, and it's really, really hard to just walk by. I have to like shut things off. And I think that's a really good idea for all of us to have that space set up, so that's designated for us as adults as well as for the kids, that this is where we're doing our work at.
Yeah, I agree. I know. So one day I was kind of lazy and I decided to work on the couch, and I got lower and lower and lower. Next thing I know, I'm like, let me get up, because if I'm on this couch, I'm not gonna get any work done. So the kitchen table was kind of my office for the day. I cleared out. I get my notebooks out and pens, and I focus. And when I get up, I know, like, that's my time to not work. So yeah, like, a workspace is just like a learning space for a child.
And I was just gonna add, as fun as you can make it, because sometimes I think we think, okay, it's schedule, we're gonna make a tight schedule, and we're gonna work from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and we're gonna make sure. So, but just think about your kids and think about their attention span and how they're working with you while they're with you, and you have to fill them out. And if as fun as we can make it, giving them breaks throughout the day, taking them outside for a little bit, being as creative as you can so that they don't feel like it's a lot of pressure, because right now it's a hard time for them anyway. They're not with their friends, they're not with their teachers, they're struggling with that. So just being at home is something, an adjustment for them in itself. So as fun as you can make it, so that they think of home learning as being fun and not just I'm working from morning to the end of the day.
Right.
Can I chime in on that?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I had a Zoom today with some of my kiddos, and I let them have time at the end just to talk to each other because they missed each other, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And, "Oh, let me see your toy." And it was awesome.
I always do that too. I just got off of Zoom with my kids, and I had 7 kids. But at the end, I said, "I miss you, and I don't like that we can't see each other." And one little girl said, "But we see each other right now." I said, "Yes, thank goodness for Zoom, so we can see each other." But that's what they were doing, showing each other their toys. And it was nice. They were visiting with each other.
And well, I have a little flexibility because the classroom teachers, I feel like the classroom teachers have to be a little stricter on what they're covering. So today we did a book that was a grade level book, but about superheroes. So I let them create their own superhero name and then talk about that. And their homework is to write a few sentences about that.
Right now, my daughter is actually taking a break from everything, and she had gotten some mail, and she is creating. She had done a puzzle, and she is now creating a picture frame for Mother's Day. So this is her downtime while she has the chance to step away from her classwork, and my boys are actually upstairs with their uncle playing outside for a few minutes.
Yeah, I think that's great because even at school, like they don't work for 6 hours straight. We have breaks.
We're gonna probably try to sit down and make.
Whoops.
You muted.
I think she froze.
I think so too.
Maybe not. I think.
How about you, Mr. McPherson? How are things going out your way?
Well, everything's going pretty smoothly. We still got them stacked in here every day, trying to monitor what's going on. As a matter of fact, hold on just a minute. I'm in my office and I've got one right there. Wave, Divya.
Hey.
So she's, I have them coming and going all day long, doing schoolwork and trying to keep up. It's kind of, I think it's kind of cool because, they get to come up to the office and, hang out up here instead of being in school. So we're trying to stay on top of, things. So it's definitely a challenge with this many kids, and with having limited Wi-Fi access only in certain places. We're having to do the schoolwork, all in one building. So, Yep.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you make time to join us.
Well, we try to make sure that we know what's going on, in the conversations and in the community and that sort of thing. So, I think myself and Andy Snovac, who's the office is right beside of mine. I think we've got all the elementary kids between the two of us. So, we're trying to keep everybody connected. So
Good.
Yeah, definitely staying on the schedule has been a big deal for us.
That's good. That's good. And how about you, Miss Gordon? Do you have anything you want to add or ask, or how are things going with you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm coming. How is everyone?
I was eating lunch while I was talking.
I'm sorry. I just was checking in to make sure you're doing okay. See if you had any questions or any insight.
I am very fine. I have thoroughly enjoyed your sessions. I've just been invited through another colleague here in Winston-Salem, and I look forward to these conversations, especially from the parents, because I learn a lot to get their feeling and feedback to share with my other colleagues here. But I was listening to a workshop earlier today, and it does feed into what you were saying. And that is, and I stopped and I immediately after the workshop put a dojo message to my parents. And what they said was to tell them how much they are appreciative of what they're doing with their children. I realized that they are not the teacher, but they are their children's first teacher. And yet to stop and breathe, to laugh, to relax, and to give each other a hug today. And just, we're not striving to be perfect. Exactly. We're just striving to do our best. And that hit me and resonated very well with me today. And I wanted to share that with my parents because they are working really hard. And I appreciate what they're doing. And I just wanted to know that we're in this together. I'm at home too, and I'm just working on one of my parents sharing with me that she's sort of glad that I'm not doing a lot of videos. And I had to step back to reflect on that because she said it made him sad. And I said, oh, I didn't look at it like that. Yeah. But I have to come up with a different way. So I'm looking at and revising what worked best for all of my parents and families. So I appreciate the opportunity to share.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And I think the big thing is to remember a couple of things actually is we are all in this together. Mm-hmm. Nobody has a book. There's no, I always do SOP, standard operating procedures. When I start a new job, I create an SOP when I do a project, and there isn't one for what we're going through. And right. So everybody's doing all they can do. I'm just blown away because I do watch a lot of parent engagement and webinars. And I feel like the team we have with our teachers, our staff, and our parents coming together are really, y'all are hitting the ball out of the park. Y'all are going above and beyond and doing the impossible every day. And it's just amazing to just hear and see all the things that are going on. And every one of you guys deserves to give yourself a pat on the back and say, I'm doing a good job. And just, you know, remember, we're all doing the best we can. And even with us all being different, our kids are all different. So they're all going to learn different ways. And I thought that was a really good message, Ms. Winfield, to just kind of remember your child might not learn with the flashcards or with the video or something, and to just kind of work the best way that works with your kids. And even as we were talking, I tend to be ADD. And so for me, right now I have 2 setup computers, 3 monitors, and I have probably on the average of 10 to 30 tabs open on my computer because I can't work just on one thing. I have to go to another thing and another thing. And so I think there's kids like that. So they're not going to finish one thing. Let them work on this and then work on that. And I think it's just figuring out what works best for each one of the kids that we're working with and helping. So I just really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you, Ms. Winfield. I want to share some dates with you guys, some information that we have. One is next week's Tea and Talk. We'll be learning the 4 questions you can ask your child every day to help them thrive during this time, kind of keeping the boat balanced for the whole family. And Ms. Winfield is also going to lead that one. Then the following week, we'll be doing a Tea and Talk review and prepare. So we're going to get together and just talk about some of the things that we've done this year in Tea and Talk, some of the things that have worked, some of the things we want to repeat, some things we might want to try next year. Do we want to do Zoom next year? Expecting to be on campus. So that will be that. And then the last one of the year is actually the last instructional day of the year. And then the last instructional day is May 27th. I put some dates in the chat and it kind of picked it up before I finished. So it's not edited perfectly. But May 27th will be our last Zoom, where Ms. White's going to give us some resources and ideas for the summer. It's also the students' last instructional day. And then the week of May 18th through the 22nd, that will be the last packet of work will be picked up for the students. So it'll be packet number 3 with the last student work packets that you can pick up from the school. That's also the week that you would be dropping off packet number 2 at the school and picking up any of your students' personal belongings that might have been left in the classroom. The teachers will have those all bagged up for your students. If your students have any medication, you'll need to contact an administrator at the school, because medication, of course, will be handled differently. We don't want to leave that sitting out. Then the teachers, once they get all the work, will begin working on the report cards, and their timeline to work on the report cards is the June 1st through 10th, their last days of school, and they'll get that together and that will be gotten out to you. Does anybody have any questions about the dates or information I missed?
For the medicine, would that include like for my boys, they have to have in what we call a breathing machine, and it has albuterol with it, and then they have their asthma inhalers. Would that have to be contacted through the administrator too?
Yes, if any of that stuff is at school, you would have to coordinate with an administrator to pick it up, because that can't be left in just a bag.
What we're going to do, Chambers, we already have a plan. We're going to go around to all the blue bags where the teachers would have carried them. We're going to collect them, write a list, and then we'll contact you. So you don't, I will fear that if you call up here, you may not get an answer. So we'll collect all the building and then bring them out then to you and call you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And honestly, I know this is Teachers Appreciation Week, and I just want to say thank you to all you teachers for everything that you have done. I know at home it is so stressful for me, and I could not imagine to be a teacher having, 20 students in one class. Y'all are amazing, and even now with this pandemic going on, you've got to stay organized and try to still teach at the same time. Not just your students, but also your children that you have at home. So I just want to say thank you for everything that each and every teacher has done for our children, no matter if you're an administrator or if you're, anything, assistant teachers or anything. I just want to say thank you to everybody for everything that you guys do. It is very hard work. I'm seeing how much work you guys put into it. It's truly amazing. I know I have a few teachers that I have gifts for, and I was just wanting to know, how can I get those to the teachers themselves? Can I drop them off at the school and have them pick them up later, or how would that work?
Probably best to drop it off at the school, because the teachers are coming in and their schedules are changing weekly. They're coming in probably about once a week, some of them, not all of them, but it probably would be best if you bring it to us and then we can have it to them. I don't want anybody having to drive to Greensburg. Our teachers live a lot of different areas, so if you bring it here, we'll make sure they get it, put it that way.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Yes, Ms. White.
I have a question for, I guess it's a parenting thing. I have an only kid at home. And so I am not really concerned about academics, although those are not going well, to be real honest. I am more concerned about the socialization. He has not talked to a single person other than me since this all started, except for his dad, but whatever. So then I'm getting messages from teachers he's not doing his work. Well, we're failing, not failing, but we are struggling as a family. I'm working, so I can't micromanage his education right now. And I don't know. I'm just really worried. I'm way more worried about his socialization than I am his academics. I don't know if that's right or it's wrong, but socially we're struggling at my house. And so I say to him all the time, oh, have you talked to so-and-so lately? Have you like his friends that he used to interact with on a daily basis? And he's like, no. No.
That's like super crazy that you said that, because like I have a parent who messaged me the same exact thing, and obviously I teach kindergarten.
Right.
So I feel like you're not alone in that.
I feel very alone.
You know you're not.
Yeah. Well, I know. Well,
You know
only
you're
because
not.
we've talked about it, but
Yeah,
because I know you're in the same position with your daughter.
absolutely.
She's
Yeah.
the only one left at home, so it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, being trapped in a house with a middle schooler is not going well
Horrible.
at all.
And you know the funny part, you guys, is Michael and Ari have known each other since they were 9 months old. And I will say to Ari, go across the grass, because Crystal and I live across the grass from each other in the same townhome complex. Go across the grass and talk to Michael. And she'll say things like, what about social distancing? I told her, I said, I didn't tell you to go hug him. I said, go over there and talk to him.
I feel like Michael's sinking into such a despair that
Absolutely.
he doesn't even know how to do it anymore.
Yep.
Because it's been 7 weeks now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, Ms. White, I did something really good with
Mine are.
with Sophie. I set her up with a. Oh, go ahead, Miss. You want to go first? Go ahead.
It's okay. You're speaking. Go ahead.
I got with the parents, and I got like one of Sophie's friends, and I put the tablet in front of her, and I hit the phone, and I answered, and the girl popped up, and Sophie had no clue, and
Oh, it was a surprise.
yeah, so it's called forced talking.
Forced socialization.
So
Maybe we should do that for Ari and Michael, Crystal.
Yeah.
Maybe if we lock them both out of the house, we'll just migrate.
I recommend it, and she's like, I'm like, who you calling? When it's ringing, I'm like, you'll see. So when they get there, you know, they're face to face, so they have to do it. I mean, I hate to have to do it that way in our house, but that's how we do it.
Right. I mean, because like I've always been more concerned about Michael socially, about his academics and stuff like that. And I feel like this forced time apart is making it even harder for him to connect.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all. You know, that connecting with his peers has always been an issue for him.
Yeah.
I feel like I've forgotten in a way how to like talk to people, because I'm like not doing it. You know, we don't see each other every day. So like yesterday when I was at the school, I was like, oh my gosh, there's like my coworkers.
No, I saw you. Remember?
Oh, at Food Lion.
Yeah, they're at Food Lion. We were just like,
yeah, I was like, I don't know how to communicate. It feels weird. Yeah.
It does.
Does Michael play any online games?
He does.
I'm just wondering if like any of his friends play, and I know some of the kids will connect that way. It's not like the same, but it's at least getting some connection.
That was really how he was getting his socialization at the beginning. But like even that, like I think he's tired of the games, which is kind of bizarre. But like he didn't play his Xbox at all yesterday, and it was almost weird. But he didn't even ask. And so like that's why I'll be like him and Sanders' little girl, or not so little girl, they've been friends forever. And so at the beginning of the whole thing, like they would be on the phone every evening and stuff. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like the longer this happens, the harder it's going to be. And I didn't know if anybody else was having that issue other than me and Cheryl, or, because it's hard when you're, only children are different.
They are.
I might not have an only child, but for us, my kids, of course, my boys have each other to talk to and Olivia to talk to. And so they each have somebody to talk to every day, but it's with them not seeing their friends or people their age or things like that. Like we go to Creekside Park and we walk the trails and we hide rocks and we find rocks and stuff like that. But it also, there's other people that'll pass by through. And I've seen constantly Olivia's, oh, your dog's so cute, as someone passes by. Or, it's just something for her to be able to talk, because she is my jabberjaw child. I love her dearly. But she loves to talk, and she'll talk anybody's ear off. So for her just to be able to pass by somebody and, oh, your dog's so cute, or see another kid, oh, you have the same bike I do, or, just stuff like that. It just, the simple passings between strangers, she'll sit there and say, hi, have a good day, and it just brightens Olivia's day to the fullest, because she is my talkative child. Like, she is constantly wanting to talk to somebody. whether it's her friends, my friends, her dad's friends, anybody that used to come to our house all the time that would talk, and just, for her to say hi to, she's like, I got to talk to somebody. So my sister, me and my sister do FaceTime on Facebook. And so she's constantly poking her head in on my conversations. And she's like, hi, Aunt Kayla. And just constantly trying to talk to somebody. So what we try to do, like I said, is go to Creekside or go to the park and walk the trails. And we always make sure that we practice our social distancing of 6 feet. But if someone's passing by, at least even within a 6 feet distance, you can say hi, and, they'll say hi back sometimes, or thank you.
Might try that. Maybe
Yeah,
we
and,
can do that.
I watched a show yesterday. They did the whole show with Zoom. It's a court show. And one of the things that this couple did was they cooked a meal together on Zoom. So maybe Ari and Michael, you could say, you guys are fixing dinner tonight, and here's the ingredients, and you guys have to work together on Zoom. I mean, some project or something that they have to
I'm
work
not coming
together.
over to eat that dinner. I'm gonna tell you right now. They're either gonna poison me or something's gonna happen.
Well, Ari's actually a really good cook, so you can come and eat
I
her.
meant for Michael.
Yeah.
Ari
might try to stop him from.
Right, yeah. Michael has actually been doing some of our cooking.
Oh, good.
Ari's actually really is a good cook. I've taught her well.
Good idea though, girls. I got to get my girls helping me cook more because
You do.
Shelby says that I act like they're in a hotel, like I'm serving them all day long. So I got to get them to help me do it. They can learn how to cook in the kitchen.
Last weekend, Michael cooked dinner while I played video games. It was a complete switch in our house.
That's great.
Great.
That's great at your house. I don't know what the problem is.
Yep.
I guess part of what we're struggling to is the schooling.
Yeah.
Thing too. So yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd offer to do it for him, but that would probably make it much worse.
Well, maybe it'd get done.
You could offer to take him to the special place at the library.
Well, he was informed today he'll be coming back with me next week when I come. So, yeah. So he'll be in the pit.
Oh dear.
What brightens her day to the fullest. So I have a question. I know with kids, like Miss Chambers was saying, that have ADHD, how is it that at school you guys get them to sit and listen so well? Because I'm telling you, I'm struggling so bad. Olivia will sit here and she'll be rocking back and forth and just, completely spaced out while she's trying to read something. So of course she's not comprehending what she's reading. Hayden, he's so active, and they're both on medicine, but I don't know, at home I guess it just seems like the medicine don't work. We try to keep it as structured as we can, but of course we're not school. And they're so used to school being so much more structured. How is it that y'all are able to kind of calm them down and get them to pay attention?
Well, you kind of have to remember that kids as individuals are different than kids as groups. And so a lot of the times as the teacher or the educator, you can get an entire group of kids to do something easier than you can get like one single solitary kid to do something. And a lot of that is kind of like comfort level. So like, I know Michael says things to me that he wouldn't dare say to a teacher, or that, like he's different at home than he is at school, which is actually a good thing, I think.
And like
so many things. And so I think it is easier sometimes to orchestrate a group of children doing something versus one. Because I know we're riding that ADHD struggle bus at my house too.
Well, and like you said, I think it's like when they're with a group, they almost want to do the right thing, like because they see, like they don't want to be the outcast. Well,
Right.
I mean, most kids don't, but So like if they see their friends behaving, like they're most likely gonna want to do that. So they're not like pinpointed. I don't know. I've noticed that in my class.
Yeah. Group dynamics are a very big part of that.
Yeah. But sometimes sometimes don't think they're like little perfect angels, because sometimes we just have to like look over it and let them twist on the carpet and bounce around.
See, I try, I try so hard, but if she's trying to read something or if something's being read to her, say like on the YouTube videos that the teachers post and stuff like that, she'll sit there and be staring completely at the screen, but her mind is wandering somewhere else, and it's like she's not hearing anything. And then she asks me, well, what's this? And I was like, you just watched a video on it. Where was your mind at? I says, I want you to take a minute, get all your energy out for just a second and rewatch it. And sometimes that's what I have to do. She has to rewatch a video just for her to be able to understand, oh, okay. And it clicks. But then other times it's like she can watch it 2 or 3 times. And it's just something that she's too zoned out or too antsy to actually pay attention to. And Hayden's the same way. Hayden sits there and if his homework is too easy, he'll literally flat out tell me, this is boring. I already know this. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can change, but let's try to find a different way for you to do it than the same way that you keep doing it each time. And he gets to the point where when he's doing his reading, and I've just let it go because at least he's still understanding and he's passing the little quizzes on his epic charts and everything like that. But he'll sit there and he'll slouch in the couch. He'll lay on the floor and just start wallowing back and like rolling around on the floor. But he's paying attention. He's listening to the book. And each time he gets 100% on that quiz at the end of his epic book. And so I've just let it slide. As long as I know he's still understanding, he's still learning, and he's still reading, I'm okay with it. But like I said, with Olivia, sometimes it's just 2 or 3 times and she still ain't understanding it. It's like, how can I just get her to focus for that little 5-minute, video on YouTube is what I'm struggling with, because I think her ADHD is just far worse. The doctors honestly don't know where to put her medicine because she's at the maximum dose, but they still say that it seems she needs something stronger than what she's able to take right now because she's at the strongest dose. And they rather her go to a psychiatrist to see what the psychiatrists say. But none of the psychiatrists want to take her because they say she's too young. So I'm stuck in the middle of a hard spot right now, just trying to make sure that she stays on track and that she's able to at least learn, at least half of what she's being taught. That's what I'm pushing as much as I can, but I'm trying to give her a break at the same time so that she's not just exhausted and frustrated to the point she's in tears.
Something that might help when she's watching a video or trying to listen is letting her doodle. Because I know for me, if someone's talking, even if they're talking, I can pay better attention if I'm doodling. And I take notes sometimes just to be doing that. I may not keep the notes. And also I sit on, the exercise ball. They're like 10, 15 bucks at Walmart. That helps a lot for a lot of kids that have energy, because they can sit and they can be moving while they're still focused.
And I've actually been doing a lot of my work at a standing desk. I took a box and put it on top of a little organizer I had, and it's the perfect height. And I get some of my best work done there because I'm more comfortable, because as a teacher, as an educator, I'm used to spending the majority of the 6-hour day on my feet. And so, it's easier for me to work when I'm standing up and kind of like I move and I wiggle. And so she might do better too if she's doing that.
All right. Well,
okay. Well, those are some things that I can keep in mind.
We have some interesting information and some tips and ideas. And also, if anybody comes up with some things during the week that you want to, some of the things that came up that you want to give ideas or tips to another parent or another person, feel free to shoot me an email, or you could even message it to Miss White on Facebook. That's one-on-one. And I just really appreciate you guys making time to come and check in with us every week. It's good to see your faces. And it's just, I just want to continue to remind you, give yourself grace. We want to give our kids grace, but we also want to give ourselves grace. It's not the usual time, and we're all doing all we can. And that goes for you too, Miss White. Grace, grace, grace to you. You're doing a good job as a mom, as a teacher, as a media specialist, and every other title that's been tacked on. And Miss Hall, you are doing a great job, and your daughter is doing a great job. You guys, you're doing fabulous. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Miss Winfield, for making time to come and to share with us. And as we go out, everybody thumbs up if you're doing okay. Need a little encouragement. All right, you guys have a really great week, and hope to see you next week. Next week we'll have the morning tea and talk. And thank you once again.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Jill, can you stay on?
Bye-bye.
Yes.